Afternoon. How y'all doing? Good. Well, we got another big challenge. Every week in the Big 12, it's a big week, and we certainly have one this week. Had a great atmosphere the other night. For Baylor University. Kind of wish the rain would have held off a little bit. I think it certainly dampened things a little bit, but from a national exposure standpoint, I thought it was great for our university. Great for the Big 12, just wasn't great for Baylor, and that was the number one objective, which, we didn't accomplish, I didn't accomplish. But Oklahoma's a very good football team, and, we have a new challenge this week going to Stillwater, go to a place where, in my tenure, we haven't fared that well, so we have a chance to do something that, we haven't been able to do.
John Warner, Waco Trib. Art, you just mentioned that y'all hadn't fared well there. Why is that place so difficult in your mind?
I think, honestly, John, I think all the Big 12, venues are hard. I mean, it just is. It's hard to, it's hard to win on the road. It's hard to win at home. You just got to hit everything. I mean, just like the other night, the margin for error is just, it's so minute, and small that if you have one mistake within a drive, it could eventually cost you the outcome of the game. So that when you get into games of this nature, that's just the way it is. Every time we've gone to Oklahoma State, since I've been here, I think we went there in 8. They came here in 9. I know we were there in 11 and 13. I'm not sure about 10. Where were we at in 10? Did they come here in 10? Did we even play them? We played them 8 and 9 here. 8 and 9. 8 there and 9 here. 11 there, 12 here, 13 there, 14 here, but I don't remember about 10. Yeah. We might not have played them at 10. I don't know. Is that when the conference was kind of switching? Yeah. For some reason I'm drawing a blank. That was Robert. Yeah, that was Robert's junior year or sophomore year. But, yeah, it hadn't been good. They've been really good every time we've gone up there. I mean, that's kind of the bottom line. They're always a good football team. I actually have a whole lot of respect for them as a team, because I think they do a great job of playing within themselves. You see them in all types of games. They never panic. They always have poise. They always believe in their system, offensively and defensively, and special teams. And I think a lot of it's got to do with how long Coach Gundy's been there. They've been in the system a long time. They've done a good job a long time, pretty similar to Coach Stoops in Oklahoma. Those guys have seen a lot, done a lot. They understand a lot, and so I have a lot of respect for them. They're a tough out.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Art, Ish Zamora broke kind of a long return in that second half of that game the other day. Are you surprised with the speed that you guys have back there that maybe you don't break a few more of those?
Oh, we'd like to see. You don't get very many chances at kickoff returns. We kind of weigh the option of, if it's a yard and a half deep, do you take a knee, put it on 25, put it where you want it, as opposed to bringing it out and having a chance of getting a block in the back, or having a chance of not getting it to the 25. I mean, national average on kickoff returns is about 18 to 22 yards. Surprisingly, it's not very much. Or, the potential of a turnover. So you weigh all those things, but we knew we'd get us a couple of shots the other night because the ball was getting heavy. It was kind of raining. They were kind of kicking into a little bit of breeze. So we knew, in the fourth quarter that we would have kickoff returns there. And we weren't surprised with this. I was actually surprised that he honestly didn't score. Number 10 came from the backside and made a really good play on him. And, we lost a good chance for a momentum. Then we ended up scoring because we punted, held them, then scored. But, we should have banged one in right there just to carry on the momentum from the crowd, because the crowd was pretty hot right then. But, there's good kickers, good cover people. And it's like I say, people are placing the ball, and it's hard to get really good returns. So when you get one, you got to make it count. And he did.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Art, last couple of games, are there similarities in what K-State and Oklahoma did in terms of shutting down the run? And Johnny Jefferson has not been in, I don't think, the last couple of games. Is that an injury issue?
Shutting down the run, I think we're a little bit different run offense now than we might have been, prior to K-State. So that's something that fits a little bit into the equation. K-State's perennially a good run-stop defense. I mean, Always, respected them run first. Oklahoma's the same way. I mean, those guys are going to stop the run. That's just, kind of how they, base their philosophy. And Johnny, I think you'll see Johnny play this week. I mean, it's just been a situation of where, he's got a lot of talent, and, the flow of the game just hadn't dictated. And like you said, we hadn't really rushed the ball that much. I mean, K-State, I think we had 60 snaps. That's not a lot of snaps. And, the other night, weren't very successful running the ball. So, we'll see. But we have a lot of confidence in him.
Sean Giggy, News 10 Sports. Coach, last year you guys had that one loss at the end of the year, and I know there was a lot of discussion whether you guys are TCU, one loss, deserve to be in. I think right now most people have kind of written you guys off as you're out of the playoff picture. But do you feel that if you guys can win out and all the pieces fall your way, that you still are very much deserving of being in that conversation?
Really, I hadn't thought that far, and really hadn't thought that far prior to last week. It's just that I've just been flooded with so many questions about it that you get tired of saying, the old true coach's cliche that it's one game at a time. So people get tired of hearing that and writing that. So you add a little something to it, but we're actually in the situation now where our vision is pretty tunneled, and it's at Stillwater, this Saturday at 6:30, so that's where we're at, and whatever happens from there happens, but I think as you can see, and we all know that, it's pretty hard to predict what's going to happen, and we got to go, fight hard and try to get a win up there.
Hey, Art, Suzanne Halliburton from
Awesome.
American Statesman. Jarrett, you were saying Saturday night had some back issues. I just saw him grab some lunch. Is he feeling better?
He's doing better. That's what I told him. He's moving around about like me, and that's not. I'm not sure how good that is, but for a 19-year-old. But no, he's fine. The thing that we were pleased about is he got an MRI yesterday, and all the results were negative. So we're just dealing with muscles and bruising, which equates to soreness and pain. And so there's no structural damage, and that's the encouraging part. He actually is better today than he was yesterday evening, and that's a good sign. And we think by tomorrow and as the week progresses that, he'll be fine. It did trouble him some the other night. It happened, I think, the third play of the game is when it happened, and he did a good job of really playing through it.
Nick Canizales, KCN. Coach, you talked about having the tunnel vision, but even despite the loss, the ultimate goal of winning the Big 12 championship is still within reach.
The way I can, mathematically figure it, I think we're still very much alive. So, that's it. I mean, it's hard to go undefeated in this league. We know that, and everybody else in the league knows it. So, if you can bounce around and have more numbers in the front and you got it at the back when it's all over, then you'll have a pretty good chance when it's all said and done. But, we understand we got, 3 tough weeks in front of us, starting this week with Oklahoma State.
Steve Cooks, Sikkim Sports. Coach, you had several players banged up. Waz, Stewart, Blackshear, and Oakman and Bonds. Any word on any of those guys?
I think Waz is probable. Blackshear, I'd say doubtful. Orion, I think we'll know a little bit more as the week goes on. Bonds, I would think doubtful on him. And who was the last one? Oatman's fine. Yeah, he's good.
Art, Tim Griffin with the San Antonio Express News. It looks like they did about as good a job on Corey as anybody's done all year. Are you worried about his confidence lagging as far as that goes, and how is he going to bounce back, you think?
I'm not worried about his confidence, at all. I mean, he's a confident guy, and he'll continue to make plays. They did an excellent job of, changing up some coverages and stuff. I think we, probably could have been a little more forceful with the ball. There were some factors involved that, you weigh aggression as opposed to intelligence, when you're in a game of that nature where, we were behind the 8 ball most of the game. We were fighting uphill. And so you got to be really, conscious of getting productive plays when you have them because they were doing a good job answering offensively. So when you got the ball, you gotta play percentages a little bit more as opposed to, just flailing it out there and letting it go. So, he'll be fine, and I think as a offensive unit, we'll be able to adjust.
Coach, several people have asked me, do you have a kicker who can, on kickoffs, can get it to the end zone? Y'all had two that went out of bounds.
Yeah.
Do you have one, a kicker that can put it that far?
Well, yeah. I mean, we do.
I mean,
Consistently, I guess not.
Somebody told me the punter has a real good leg.
He does have a good. He does have a good leg. Yes, he does. And it sometimes when a guy punts and kickoffs, it affects him, one way or the other. Actually, Spencer kicked off for us last year. We had more kickoffs than anybody in America, and we're kind of on pace to do the same this year. When you have that many kickoffs, there's going to be a few that, don't go where you want them to go. He was not as consistent the other night as, he has been. He's been pretty good. It's, like I said, it's about a 50-50 shot on having a return ball or not a return ball. The ones that go out of bounds are, the ones that certainly bother you because it gives them about 35-yard line.
Art, Tim Griffin again. You mentioned earlier respect for Oklahoma State and the things they do. Particularly, what is it that makes their defense so tough? It looks like Lynn Spencer's done a nice job over the course of his time here, but what is it that you like that they do?
I think they're very creative. They do a lot of variety. I mean, they have a lot of variety on the defensive side of the ball between a 4-man, 3-man front, and their coverages on the back end. Spencer's been there a while. He was there with Bill Young. Bill Young retired. He took over. They, maintained, the same structure, the same philosophy, and done a really good job. They got good guys. They get good people. They do a good job recruiting the state of Texas. I mean, there'll be 8 guys start on defense from Texas, 7 or 8 on offense. And they do a nice job of getting guys that fit their system. Mike's been there long enough that they got a really good idea of what they're looking for in players. And they have enough attractiveness as a university from a facility standpoint, and home game atmosphere standpoint, that they can pull some good kids out of Texas to go up there and fit what they're looking for. So I think they've just done a nice job over the years of having people that fit their philosophy come up there and play for them. Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is. JW does a great job for him. Comes in midfield, short yardage. They'll throw with him. Of course, he was a starter last year until Rudolph took over, and I think Rudolph's first start was against us last year. He's been the starter ever since, and of course, he does a tremendous job, running their offense, and JW just adds that, little extra benefit for him that, keeps you, on your toes defensively because he can throw. He's not just a running QB, and he's, his fifth-year guy that's played a lot of snaps for him.
Art, Xavier Howard, a lot of people aren't throwing his way now, but how good is he playing?
He's playing really well. Played really well last year, the whole year. We ask a lot out of him. He delivers a lot. He does a tremendous job for us. I mean, he really does, being a lockdown corner on an island, and so he's lived up to, what we need from that place on our defense. And he just continues to get better and better. Thank y'all.